Adam Smith was a Scottish philosopher and economist, and is known as the father of modern economics and capitalism. The date of Smith's birth is unknown, but he was baptised in Kirkcaldy, Scotland in 1723. He attended one of the best schools in Scotland and entered the University of Glasgow when he was just 14 years old. In 1740 he left for Oxford University under a full scholarship, but left in 1746 before his scholarship had finished, and he returned to Kirkcaldy. He began publicly lecturing in 1748, which led to him being appointed Professor of Logic and Moral Philosophy in 1752, and he remained in Glasgow for the next 13 years. He left Glasgow in 1764 to travel on the continent as tutor to the future Duke of Buccleuch, Henry. He met many influential and intellectual Europeans on this trip, including Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Voltaire. He published his famous work, Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations. Smith argued against the regulations of commerce and trade. This work was the precursor to the modern academic discipline of economics, and is one of the most influential texts on economics ever written. In The Wealth of Nations and other works, he wrote about how self-interest and competition led to economic prosperity, giving foundation to the principles of capitalism. He became one of the founding members of the Royal Society of Edinburgh in 1783, but died in the city in 1790.
Adam Smith was a political economist and philosopher from Scotland. At the age of 15, he went to Glasgow University. He studied moral philosophy, then never to be forgotten. Late in 1750, he met David Hume, who became his close friend. 1751, Smith was appointed professor of logic at Glasgow University. Adam Smith's most influential work was the book The Wealth of Nations, which was written in 1776. Adam Smith died on July 70, 1790 after painful illness. Shortly before his death, nearly all his manuscripts were destroyed. He was planning two major treatises on the theory of history and law and on science of arts. Now, it's time for some John Green. That's Adam Smith.
So here's what economics textbooks say about money. In general, it has three functions: medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. And its first function is by far the most important. Like, this is a quote from my actual physical high school econ textbook. In primitive economies, food might be traded for clothing, or help in building a house might be exchanged for help in clearing a field. But exchange today in all economies, market as well as command, takes place through the medium of money. A couple things about that quote. First off, primitive is a cringy word. Secondly, a market economy is like, basically all economies these days, and a command economy is what we called the Soviet Union's economy back in the 80s. Anyway, money is very important to history. Like, our old friend Adam Smith thought that, quote, property, money, and markets not only existed before political institutions, but were the very foundation of human society. Yeah, he was pretty into economies, so he was probably a little biased toward money, but it is important. Smith also thought that before there was money, there was barter, but barter could be cumbersome. Like, if I make cheese and you make shoes and you're lactose intolerant, then barter breaks down because I need shoes, but you don't need cheese. Then